This week on One Crazy Story, actress Krissi Kinney joins us to talk about what it's like to be hired to be a Maid of Honor.
So here's some things you don't think about when you get hired to be a bridesmaid. There's a shower, like a wedding shower.
Shoot.
You didn't think about this, did you? Neither did I at first.
Oh my God, you're like, oh crap, I gotta be at all of the events?
I had to go to the shower. I had to...
Bring a gift?
Yes, bring a gift. I had to be there early and set up. I was like, I had to be a real friend.
Hello and welcome to another edition of One Crazy Story. I'm your host, Nate Armbruster, and this week we have a fun one for you. It's Krissi Kinney, and if you don't know Krissi, she's an actress, now turned comedian. She's just started stand-up comedy, and she's doing great. She's awesome. I met Krissi, I'd say I think about 5 years ago, something like that, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it was right early on in my stand-up career, and I performed at a fundraiser she put together, and now here we are 5, 6, 7 years later, and she's doing stand-up. She's still acting. She's great. She's funny, and it was cool to reconnect, so it was nice to hear from Krissi. She told me she had a great story for the podcast, and I couldn't turn it down because I have never met anyone in my life that has been hired to be a bridesmaid, a maid of honor, which is higher up on the bridesmaid food chain. So I understand. And we've all been to a wedding we didn't want to go to. Dry weddings are always awful. Weddings just kind of suck sometimes. Usually they're pretty fun. But sometimes being the only person at the wedding that doesn't know anybody is awful. Not in this case, though. Krissi was hired to be the maid of honor in her tax lady's son's wedding. It was weird. It was a really weird situation. Doesn't really make sense on any platform, really. Doesn't really make any sense. But an actor doesn't turn down a gig, especially a good gig. I mean, this is still a good gig. I mean, going to a wedding for free and it's free booze, free food, and there's no pressure. So I thought this was hilarious. Thanks to Krissi for doing the podcast. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun. And if you guys are enjoying the podcast, please keep in touch. Follow any and all social media, everything, Nate Comedy, everything, One Crazy Story, all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, all of that. So keep in touch. And if you got a story or something crazy to tell me or just anything in general, you can email me at onecrazystory@gmail.com. Yeah, just, I don't know, if you like anything I've ever done, just you share it. That'd be cool. You just share it. Tell somebody about it, because that always helps. That's the best thing you could probably do. And it's free. I'm not asking for money. I don't know, just share it. If you like it, just share it. So share it with somebody will like it. Somebody out there is gonna like this. They gotta, right? So anyway, if you enjoyed the show, please give it a like or share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Tell your friends about it. It only helps the show. Leave a review on iTunes if that's how you listen, iHeartRadio, all of those apps, Stitcher, TuneIn, everywhere podcasts are available. So there's no excuse. We can all find it now. We can all get it. We can all listen to podcasts, and you should share it. Just share it with your friends. That'd be fantastic. I would love you forever. And moving on. So let's just get to the show. Enjoy this week's episode with myself and Krissi Kinney.
I will say a lot of things in my life do kind of remind me of a movie. There's a lot of weird things that happen. This is just one of them.
Yeah.
So how it kind of came about was, well, first of all, let me say that I have stood up in 13 weddings.
That's a lot. And these are all people you're close?
Yeah, these were all people friends. I was close with, except one, which I'm about to tell you about, that I was paid to do. Yeah. So yeah, I've stood up at 13 weddings. 12 of them were legit.
Okay. Yeah, and always a bridesmaid or maid of honor. Do you have to do all that stuff too?
Yeah, maid of honor quite often. And then matron of honor a couple times, maid of honor. A couple times I was the only person standing up.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard of a wedding with only one person standing up.
Yes, there were. I've been in a couple.
Vegas or something.
No, that one was local. Actually, that was my 13th wedding. It was my sister's.
Oh, okay. So it's a little small, just a small little ceremony.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. So that was fun. And then this one in particular, I also was the only person standing up because I was paid to be the bridesmaid.
Yeah. If there's like 6 other women in the party, they're going to be like, who's this? Who is this?
Exactly.
Where'd you find her?
Right?
Like, what? Like, how does somebody find you for that? Do we on like Craigslist or something?
No. So let me tell you how it all came about. Well, I do a lot of acting. So I do a lot of acting gigs. I'm in like independent films that are in film fests and web series and stuff like that. So what happened was I get a call one day out of the blue, and it's this lady that I know that does my taxes. So she does my taxes. Her name's Karen, and she calls me, and it's not tax season. So I'm like, is this some special tax tip? Like, why are you calling me?
Did I forget to tell you about something?
And there is a connection. Like, she is the mom of like a mutual friend that I've had over the years. So it's not like I never talk to her, but it's very rare. It's mainly I see her when she does my taxes.
It's like business relationship. That's it.
But there's this other connection. So I'm like, okay, hey, do you have some sort of
what's going on?
Tax like information for me? And she's like, no, actually. She's like, I have an acting gig for you if you're interested. And I was like, okay. And she actually does my taxes for like next to nothing. Right. So I was pretty much like, whatever you need, Karen, like,
sure.
I don't mind,
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Exactly. So I'm like, why? What's up? What's going on? And she's like, oh, well, my son is getting married in a few months. And it's an acting gig because the girl that he's marrying doesn't have anyone to stand up in the wedding.
Oh, man. So not even like the bride's mom is taking care of this. It's like, it's the groom's mom.
Well, the bride's mom didn't even know.
Oh,
so
no.
So I'll get to that,
wow.
right? So this becomes like some big, massive secret.
Right.
It's like government conspiracy shit. So she asked me to take on this acting gig. She tells me what it's about. She's like, I'll pay you. I'll get your hair and nails and makeup done. I'll buy you a dress.
Oh, man.
And I was basically like, listen, I have friends that'll, help me out. I have a dress. I've stood up in 13 weddings.
Right. I have the experience. Do you need a resume?
Right?
Here's 13 references.
Well, at this point, I don't know for sure. I'm kind of talking off the cuff. I want to say this was my like 9th or somewhere between 9 and 11, that range.
Yeah. So you didn't have quite as much. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't
you had
quite
a couple
pro.
left.
Well, actually, she probably picked me because I stand up in so many weddings and I do acting. So she was like, perfect combination. Yeah. And she owes me a favor.
Yeah. And she's been in so many weddings. Like, this is routine for you. And you said, so your sister's wedding was the second one. So that was after this.
Yeah, my sister's wedding was the last one I did.
Yeah, and that was the only other one that you were alone, solo in it.
Yeah, I think so. So she calls me, she's telling me about this acting gig. She's telling me she'll pay me and all this. And I was like, well, if you want to pay for me to, have because I have friends that work at salons,
I'll get
do
the
my
nails
hair,
done.
makeup, all
not?
that. I was like, but I have a dress, whatever. Yeah. So I thought this was super weird, but I was like, I'll do it, right?
Yeah. Why not?
Right?
You might as well.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much like my life motto. Like,
open bar.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like, I'll have fun, you know?
I mean, it can't not be fun. I mean, I guess you didn't really know the families yet.
No.
So you're like, I guess it could either be really fun or awful.
Either way, a fucking good story.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to like a bad wedding, but it's just like the worst.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Because weddings already are very repetitive, very cliche. It's already like not my favorite thing to begin with. And then, sorry to like all you engaged people out there, but it's not really my favorite thing to do. And then on top of it, when it's even not done well.
Right. Well, yeah, bad weddings are the worst because you're like, ugh, I can't sit through this.
It gets rough.
But finally you have an opportunity to get paid to sit through one. So why not? And you don't know anybody, so there's no pressure. Yeah,
I definitely felt like, wow, okay, I don't know anyone. So she throws out there, Karen, her future mother-in-law. She's like, well, we have to set up like a time for you guys to meet.
Yeah, because we got to come up with an alias, a name, a backstory. How'd you meet?
Exactly.
How long have you guys known each other?
Exactly.
I feel like it's like I've already done this.
You are totally right about this. So I do go over there for dinner at the mother-in-law's place, or future mother-in-law to be. And, I had met her son, before. So
what a cool mother-in-law, by the way, to do all this for her. Like... Man.
I do find it funny that I was the person that popped into her mind.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I go over there, whatever, we have this dinner, and actually she was a little on the younger side. Gorgeous girl. Like completely gorgeous.
Like how do you not have friends kind of gorgeous?
I mean, she definitely was a little different, but like gorgeous. Yeah. And she told me I talked to her a little bit because I'm just like, I'm kind of Barbara Walters sometimes. Like I asked a lot of questions. So she told me that like, a lot of her friends were people that she worked with and she was kind of like over them, and she felt like it would be weird or people would be upset if she picked anyone, and she just didn't. She was a little bit more of a loner, and so whatever. And I was like, okay, sure.
No siblings or anything?
No, she had one brother, a twin brother.
Yeah, I guess it would be weird for him to just fill in, but I've seen I've seen that before.
They were definitely going more traditional though. Yeah. You could tell they were wanting
more traditional, like
right?
hiring a maid of honor.
Right? So I meet her, gorgeous girl, like nice and everything, a little different, but nice girl. And so basically they're like, so, what should we do kind of thing? And my first thing was, listen, let's not come up with some big crazy backstory that we're going to mess up or forget
Keep
or whatever.
Simple.
I'm like, let's literally say we met through your mother-in-law. I'm like a friend of the family or whatever, which is slightly, pretty much true.
Basically.
And so, we met through your mother-in-law. We hit it off. And we became friends, and you asked me to stand up your wedding, and we were like, this is great.
Yeah, that's perfect, right? So she was in. She was like, that sounds great.
Everyone was like, this is so easy.
And did the bride know that her mother-in-law was paying you?
I believe so. Yeah. We never really talked about it because that would cross the line.
Because you don't bring it up because you don't know.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if she said anything.
Exactly. I kind of assumed she did, but I feel like it's just like rubbing it in your face.
Well, it's just we don't need to.
It's already weird. Let's not cross the super
checks in the mail already.
Right?
We'll just get this over with, and
But I was like, I don't mind, and she the mom had already like done my taxes for all these years, like for free or for very cheap. So I mean, I was like,
and it's really not that big of a deal, but it is weird. But it's really weird. Nothing. It's not. It's weird for you, but it's not your life. Yeah. So you're like, hey, I'm just going to go have a good time.
Exactly. And the thing is with me is like, I totally don't care about stuff. Because like, to me, it's just like a fun random thing. It doesn't matter
to you. Your heart's not in it.
No.
This is business.
I'm having fun. No, I had fun with it. So, but here's some things you don't think about when you get hired to be a bridesmaid. There's a shower, like a wedding shower.
Shoot.
You didn't think about this, did you? Neither did I at first.
Oh my God. You're like, oh crap, I got to be at all the events.
I had to go to the shower. I had to
bring a gift.
Yes, bring a gift. I had to be there early and set up.
Shit.
I was like, I had to be a real friend. And I was like, oh my God.
Son of a bitch.
Like, so when I was doing that, I was like, wow, like
I didn't negotiate this into the contract.
Like, I was like, how did I get wrapped up in this? I'm like carrying gifts out to the car. Her family's like loving me.
Oh, and you're just crushing it. You're like, yeah, because they haven't met any of her friends before. So
they're like,
you
this
just
girl's
show up
great.
Like, oh my God.
And then between the shower and the wedding, her family's like Facebook friend requesting me. Like everyone's like, we love you, Krissi.
No way.
It was funny.
And does the groom knows all this is going down, obviously. And
they're a little odd. They're awkward. They're a different couple. So like they're just like, whatever.
Have they been together for a while?
Okay. Well, they had been together a couple of years. So I'll definitely get to this in a minute. Okay. So that's what happens at the shower. I basically had to be a real friend.
Yeah, so you're doing everything. And then it becomes a real job.
Yeah. And then I asked her if she wanted me to do like a bachelorette thing, but she said no, so we just kind of met up for.
And you're like, thank you.
I know, I'm like, thank you.
Well, who's going to go? Us? Yeah, why don't we just get dinner?
The guest list is me and you.
Let's just get dinner.
Yeah, so we pretty much we went to dinner or something just to plan the wedding. Right? Plan the wedding. So, I asked her if she needed help with anything, but she kind of had it all going on.
Yeah.
I get there on the wedding day. Now, here are some other things you don't think about. So by the way, I had to write a speech.
Oh, yeah.
I crushed it.
Yeah.
I killed it.
That's awesome.
They were like clapping. Like everyone loved my speech so much.
They're like, man, I wish she was marrying him. She's way more fun.
I did the whole speech on, I wrote it about how he must love her so much because she has all these animals and he has allergies. So I was like, and because she's like crazy about her animals, like cuckoo crazy.
Right.
And so, which I am about my cats,
like
so
a
I
bunch
can
of
say
cats
that.
and stuff?
No, like she did have some cats and
dog.
Like, I can't remember if there's a dog or not, but there were like all kinds of like rodents and lots of stuff going on.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of that.
He had allergies, so basically my speech was about how much, because I didn't know a ton about her, right? So I know how much she loves her animals. So I'm talking about this, and of course everyone's like, "Oh yeah, they know her so well."
Oh shit.
And then I'm like, he loves her so much. He has these allergies, and he doesn't even care because he loves her
oh my
so
God.
much.
And the mother-in-law, what a sweetheart.
Right?
She would do anything to see her daughter-in-law smile.
Including hire me.
Yeah, right. Including hire me.
So I crushed the speech.
Yeah, everyone's just loving it.
Okay, so even before the speech, though, again, something else you don't think about. Pictures, professional photography. There are pictures that are forever out there of me like smiling, hugging, BFFing it up with someone I really don't know. And I mean, she's a nice girl and everything, but this was just...
right. You both knew it was like, this is just going to be a quick thing.
I kind of liked the speech because
well, that's fun.
I'm
it's like, right. It's like, it's a performance.
Yeah, totally.
You're an actor.
Right.
That's what...
But the pictures I did feel a little weird about because I was like, it felt fake.
I'm in your life forever now. Yeah. You're going to show your kids these photos and you have to, like, you can't... I mean, do you tell your kid? Does that come out eventually?
No. Though that's one of those things you take to the grave.
Like that's like that's like your kid's just like, I want to see pictures of your wedding day. Like, you guys were who's that? I've never met her. Right? Yeah, that's Aunt Krissi.
Oh, we had a falling out.
Yeah.
All she does is stand up in weddings. Yeah, she has no time for us.
Yeah. Like, we stopped talking to her years ago. We couldn't afford her after that.
So the pictures were kind of weird. The speech was awesome. I personally that evening had a blast. The DJ was awesome. It does
sound fun.
The DJ was awesome. Him and I hit it off. We're dancing to every song. Yeah. He's playing whatever I want. Like it was, and like her family's like, we love this girl. Like I said, Facebook friending me, whatever. There was a little bit of drama, and again, I had to be the good friend when we first got there because she forgot like a few super important items, like super important. So I had to like go and get stuff at the store. So I'm like, literally, it was like a movie or a TV show where I was like running through the aisles of a TJ Maxx, like looking for shoes, and like I'm wearing this.
She forgot shoes.
Yes, and a couple other important things, and
oh man.
And I have my hair done, my makeup done, and I'm like searching through the aisles. Yeah. And basically, like people were like totally staring at me like I was in a movie or something. And when I checked out, the lady was like, "I can tell you need." Like this lady was like, "You can go in front of me. Like you need to get out of here." You're having a day. I'm like, "Yup."
Yeah. I'm on the clock, lady.
I'm like, I might be being paid for this, but their wedding's about to start.
Right.
So all this stuff's happening. The wedding itself takes place. The reception is fun. And then afterwards, we try to stay in touch a little bit. And she was actually very sweet. Like I had a kid. She bought him like little gifts and stuff. So
yeah. Did you take your kid to the wedding?
No, he wasn't born then. Oh, that was
okay.
like was like a year or two later.
Oh, okay.
So we tried to stay in touch a little. Like we don't really a lot, but nothing horrible.
Just like Facebook.
Just like real friends.
Happy birthday.
Right, basically.
The next year. Happy birthday.
But I will say that they did not last. Are you shocked?
Kind of. Yeah, I'm like blown away.
So
how long did this marriage last?
The marriage, I want to say, was between a year and 2.
Oh my God.
I mean, maybe I'm even giving it extra credit.
Oh my God.
But do you want to know the truth about why? Well, this is the way that they described it. I'm sure there were true legitimate issues.
Sure, I mean,
but you're gonna die when I tell you.
If you have allergies and you're living with animals.
Oh my God, that's what I was just gonna say, Nate. You read my mind.
That's the first thing.
He literally said he moved out because he couldn't take his allergy issues with his animals, and I died because that's what my speech was about. Now I'm sure
you're in this memory. You're so in this memory.
I'm ingrained.
You're so vital in that whole story of like, what happened in your first marriage? Well, let me tell you, like, this
at my wedding.
Yeah. Well, and hiring
was like an omen.
Like hiring the Maid of Honor alone is like, oh boy.
Right. I agree.
You don't know any of it. You can't, not even your brother. Like, just your brother. I'd rather have my brother than,
and to be honest,
some random
they
person.
may have even already been married, like, through a judge. You know what I mean? Like, there was, like, I don't even know.
It was a weird relationship.
Yeah, it was all weird. And then, which is not a big shock, considering I'm hired in for a marriage that's all weird. And then, so, you know, he leaves because of these allergies, but you know that there were other issues. It wasn't like that couldn't have been the only issue. But I secretly died when I found that out, because I was like, that's what my speech was about at their wedding.
That's so crazy.
My speech that I rocked.
That's awesome. Do you have like video of this anywhere?
Oh, no, because they're not together. So everything came off Facebook. And plus,
You're like saving photos.
This was like between 7 and 8 years ago. I have a picture of me at the shower.
Yeah, that's so funny. I want to see some of these pictures. I just want to see how. I want to see how
professional ones.
I want to see how good you were at making it look like you were supposed to be.
But can I just say, like, the fact that her family all Facebook friended me, like, trust me, they all, like, on the dance floor,
figured it out.
No, they all believed it.
Oh shit!
On the dance floor, they were like, oh my God, how'd you guys meet? And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, we met through her mother-in-law and we just hit it off. And they were like, this is great. Like, they thought we were friends.
Oh my! So are you still friends with all these people on Facebook and everything? Are they like...
I feel like maybe one.
Yeah.
And I am friends with her too.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Man, I wonder how she's doing now. We should have had her come on this podcast with you.
I don't know that she would appreciate that.
No, she probably wouldn't.
Because we honestly never openly talked about this shit.
I think it's one of those things where you both just kind of go.
It's the unspoken, like, let's just pretend we're friends. And she was sweet. She was nice.
Sure.
And even,
well, I mean, it doesn't mean she's a bad person.
No.
It's just like,
it's weird.
This is just, everybody has a moment in their life that's like, we can all just let that. You know, and we can all just leave that there and, you know, not talk about it ever again. Like, unspoken, like, don't ever mention that.
No. But let me just do a podcast with Nate about it.
Right. But it's all anonymous.
No one would know.
Just don't share this on your Facebook page.
No, because they aren't going to, like, no one's going to know.
You can hide it from them.
Yeah, no one's going to know.
In the post.
Because she's not, like, following me on a regular basis.
Man, that's nuts. What an experience that had. I kind of want to do that. I think it'd be fun.
Oh, it was
on the
fun.
groom side.
Like, whenever I tell, like, my friends about this stuff, they're just literally like, honestly, like, if that would happen to anyone, it's like a movie, and it's you, because literally, like, weird stuff like that, that's just like one story.
Yeah.
Like, weird stuff like that happens to me all the time. Like, really weird stuff.
Other than that, what's number 2 on that list of, like, what's happening? I guess I'll do it.
Like, a generic example I would say is, anywhere I go, just all of a sudden I'm everyone's best friend. Like, like, just, you know, I'm just talking to everyone. I was at this one place and everyone's like, oh yeah, this place, like, I don't know, they're kind of cold. People aren't super nice here, whatever. And it was raining outside. So I go inside and I was waiting on my friend to pick me up because it was raining. So I go inside, my friend comes to pick me up, and they have given me tea and coffee, pie. They're charging my phone. 2 of the people offered to drive me home.
You're like family everywhere.
They gave me, like, this garbage bag to put over my head when I walked out. They were basically, and then I was like, oh yeah. I was like, Lenore said, if you ever need anything, you know, I'm like, she's here till 8 tonight. And the owner said, and my friend was like, her like mouth dropped, and she's like, they are known for being, like, very cold. She's like, you're basically in the family now. And that is just one dumb example of, like, anywhere I go, like, I'm just, like, everyone's best friend.
You just show up at this wedding. That's great. That's awesome that you just, like, fit right in with this family. They just loved you. What an experience. Because I feel like at some weddings, I'm just like, I don't think I should be here.
Weddings I'm not a fan of. Like, even when they're done well, they're just very cliche.
Would you say you did better at this wedding for hire than you did at any of the weddings you were actually involved in? Like, because of your relationship with the bride and groom?
No, I'll say no. Like, I'm a really, really damn good bridesmaid. Yeah. Like, so I do, like, I throw really awesome bachelorette parties, which I threw a really great one in Chicago once. That was crazy. I throw awesome bachelorette parties. I'm super involved. Like, I'll help financially. Like, I'm just like I'm a sucker for helping my friends, or family. But
your friends and your tax lady's son's ex-wife now.
and also her.
And her.
So I've been stood up in 13 weddings.
Wow, that's so many. Have you talked to? So does this lady still do your taxes now?
Yes.
Yeah, and has this come up since all of this has passed now?
She does. We don't bring up like the fact that I stood up in the wedding like that, but she does bring up like things that are happening with her, like like
what's she up to and stuff. Just so she still has a relationship with.
Well, it's kind of a negative one because she takes her son's side. So,
sure. Yeah. But is everybody's doing good though. At least that's good. I hope.
I mean, they seem like it.
That's good. At least according to Facebook.
Right.
Well, thank you for being on the show, Krissi. Do you have anything you want to plug, like Twitter, Facebook, any of that stuff?
Yeah, on Facebook, I'm Krissi Kinney, and I do post a lot of things I have going on. I'm in a web series that's dropping on Monday, November 6th. Oh, yeah, and
it's a YouTube. Yes. It'll be on YouTube, but it's
called Chair Gang.
It's Chair Gang. Okay, yes. Cool. Because I'll make sure I'll put a link in the description for you so everybody can find it.
I appreciate that. It's super funny, very unique. I'm playing, a hairdresser, so it's really fun.
Hairdresser of a bridesmaid.
Yeah. Yes, why not?
Why not?
And my character is eerily similar. It's really fun. And it's a well-written show, really funny. It's just like a unique thing. So I'm I'm the manager at the salon. Cool. I play the Tina. So very fun. And also I'm doing stand-up. So I'm doing stand-up this Friday at the Blarney Stone in Berkeley.
Oh, okay. Yep. So you got stand-up gigs too, and people can find all that stuff on your Facebook page.
Yeah. I'll get out of the dark ages and do more things very soon. Sure. Literally very soon.
Sweet.
But yeah.
Cool.
I need someone to pay me first.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Call the mother-in-law.
Yeah. I need to
Hey, thanks for hiring me to be a Maid of Honor. Do you know of any stand-up gigs I could do, or like anything like that?
Right.